pretty confident, and that's with the Ornate Arrow there for Zapman. He's getting free gold from what he's doing, and yet is still having a little bit of struggles keeping up. I think this is going to be a big point of contention. If the items get too out of hand there, I mean, Yarkor's already up 3-0-1, it'll continue going that way.
Block on Zapman, beads used, unfortunately, the worst time, and that sends some Pennytop to come back to me, Zap.
No.
I'll take you down for another kill. I was about to say, we saw Layers fall a little bit behind in experience as well. He came to duo looking for a gank, but the ward coverage from Leviathans just keep him full vision of all these rotations.
Harder, I think, to lock down, though. Sentinel's really good at getting you away. Even if you throw it out, then you get plucked, you can still go to your Sentinel. Beads is still available.
Go.
But
God,
no, this is not. This is going to be dirty if they get the pluck.
You had a feeling, blink, pluck,
Oh, no.
in towards the feather step, and there's Jakor, 3 members just take down Zap. That's a rank game for you. 100% I've seen that on his stream a few times for poor old Zap. But hey, annihilate the Hunter, go to the Gold Fury soon after. What can Scarabs do to get back in it? It's kind of crazy that
is going for those Hail Mary plays, right? Like looking for a Fire Giant when you know the other team's doing something kind of devastating, but still controllable on the other side of the map, or trying to force them into a fight where they aren't necessarily comfortable for it. You're not comfortable either, but you're trying to make them as uncomfortable
they're killing
as
him
possible.
again. They're on him again. They're looking for him again, and they're going to get him
no.
on the left-hand side. Yakor and Rongyu one more time. Zap will be tilted off the face of the earth at this moment in time, and Rongyu laughing away at how much pain they're causing Scarabs at the moment. I can understand it. Good call.
In a few minutes.
Yeah, I mean, well, in fairness, Gorin, it's the duo lane that's so far behind from Scarabs right now that they're just out of the fray. However, like you said, the middle to right-hand side of the map, they can fight. The problem is Leviathans are just playing with confidence now, and it's Layers getting picked apart in the jungle by 4 members of Leviathans. The ward coverage just isn't good enough from Scarabs now to compete with this invasion the Leviathans had. They kill Layers, they take his camp, they take the blue away from Solo or Troll too, and so the devastation that started in the...
This could be a good chance to counter-gank the Leviathans. But
do they have it warded? Can Pennytop spot it? Not in time to not get hit by Crush, but Featherstep's good. Can she get away? No, Wheelix is the question, and he will get away from Inbound, who was looking for the root. I'm a Monster will not connect on the right-hand side to Julio. And now it's Inbound who went too far forward here, trying to cause a problem, looking to keep him a kill. But Shito, with the transformation into his duo lane, Padre ends up getting the kill, and Bobby falls down a 3rd time.
This is just not going to be the kind of making it very slim and far and few in between. It's so difficult to get in there to take a Fury, to take a Pyromancer, because the Leviathans have, like, as you had highlighted, the ward coverage. They see where you are, know what you're doing, and can collapse on you like Inbound.
A lot of pressure onto Bobby there, and Bobby ends up getting away for the time being. He juked out the shots from Yarko, intentionally or not. But look at the grouping from Leviathans in mid now. Take the tier 1 and continue the pressure. All 5 grouped together. Zap on the left-hand side will get a tier 1 tower, gives a bit of free farm to Solo. You know, they're not willing to fight until they get to the Phoenix line, which is coming up relatively quick. Left-hand side being pushed in, mid lane being pushed in, and these Oni minions now pressuring all 3 of the lanes too. A difficult ask for Scarabs here, but this is the one chance they've really got. They're not going to get a chance to set up though. They're all in on Inbound already, and Bobby is annihilated one more time. SOT steps up, gets put back in, and say goodnight, sweet prince. We hardly knew you either. The Phoenix on the left-hand side down to 50%. Transition from Leviathans to the middle area, and the perfect game is intact.
I mean, so far, if Inbound could get in there with this horrific...
Thinking about what we need to adjust for game number 2, because nothing went right in game 1. The main thing they could really try and do is stop the shutout at this moment in time, find a pick and just make themselves feel a little bit better about it. But at the moment, your core is just forcing ult onto SOT, and Layers, who's just on the left trying to farm, gets picked away by 3. And now it is a rough situation. The Titan, not the tankiest boy in the world, if I'm honest. He doesn't defend himself too well. And, well, the Scarabs aren't even defending them, kind of like writings on the wall. Let's get a kill, though, Scarabs. Come on.
I mean, yeah, all towers down, all Phoenixes down. This Titan is about, well, no, it is as weak as it can possibly get. If you just focus it, it's going to be a win state for him. This is a good spot for the Scarabs to try and fight back, but they just need to do it fast.
But Rongyu's taking a lot of damage there. Focus on the health bars as Zapman will survive by getting back to Fountain. Still Rongyu alive on the front though. Will they find a kill this game? No, Rongyu escapes the Desert Fury. Julio gets Bobby. Shito gets Solo Troll. Pennytop gets Zapman. And Baronic gets to watch on as the Titan falls in less then let's be honest, this game was over in 20 minutes.
Out of the pluck or dash after the pluck to get back that distance that he displaces you. Once your beads are online and your ult's online, then you've got even more survivability. Something that Zapman does, like Heimdall, Jingwei are very safe, and they're also right in his wheelhouse. Just because it feels like not only on his stream, but just in general, he tends to have more ganks than anything. I wonder if there's a way to track that. I have no idea if there's a way to follow that stat, but it just feels like Zapman's duo lane has a little more going on in it than maybe some of the other carries.
Look at this, in the jungle, Leia's going to get picked off potentially here, uses the Piercing Moonlight for a bit of immunity, but still taking poison damage, and will go down to Rongyu with a pluck at the tail end there. And that was really around the same time Blue was coming up. Julio was a little overextended intentionally there, up against SOT, trying to force a situation maybe. And there's more available though for Riptide, or should I say Omni. The chase is on though, and he's out, has to drop the walls down, will use the walls to separate, but Panitam could be in an awkward spot now. Piercing Moonlight's good for damage, but gets pulled under the tower, and now it's Leia's in trouble because the rest of his team didn't follow up or try and support. He's going to avoid the Armor Monster. Backstep's good, but still surviving. Will go down to Shinto and the basic attack as the rest of the team fall. Leia's had to ult there, I feel like, but at the same time, just didn't get any backup from his team.
No, back isn't the guy I think of as like your top kill mage. He's going to be coming in and applying some damage. It's going to be Layers and Zap.
Rongyu taking a bit of damage, but gets the pluck on inbound, who beats away just as that came available for him. Down again as the Riptide drops down, and here comes Layers, looking for the Piercing Moonlight on Rongyu, who had the look in the woods. Now Layers out of position here. Great use of the ultimate from Bobby, though, just to give him a bit of separation and no further gank potential there, as Panitam may have been lurking more. You can even see Julio was starting to make a rotation, too. So the moment of Fury.
Yeah, those nerfs, I think it was, what, 2% total mitigations? I have it over here. I can just go look at it, yeah. So 1.5% per stack, now down to 1% per stack. So from a max of 6 to a max of 4. It's not hurt him at all.
Bobby still in trouble here. Gets it by the Armor Monster from Shinto. Panitam credit with the kill. Then Layers, who tried to get in action, ate some damage from that Book of Tough. Meanwhile, Zapman, taking on Yarkor and Rongyu, does a pretty good job there. Still has his relics available. But now without that ultimate.
Kind of kit nature and synergy that it has with Jingwei. He gets his win team in here. We got to see a little bit of that damage coming out there in that boxing match against Yarkor.
Yeah, there was explosive bolts from Jingwei there, but look at this wrap in mid. Rongyu getting aggressive against Baronic. Baronic did a good job, but backup was there for Leviathans, and it's Bobby who didn't realize he was getting focused down there. The Riptide will keep him alive for now. Panitam, without his ultimate available, wasn't able to really combine to pick up that final pick, but it will force Bobby back to base. And
carry up pretty safely afterward as well, so it's a safe way to engage, get a burst, and get out.
Oh, Layers being chased through the jungle by Rongyu, and Shinto's there with a crush. Armor Monster does not rip through, and instead Layers will just squeak between the Sobek and the wall back to safety as well. So good at gank attempt from Leviathans again. Meanwhile, on this side, Zap forced to immediately beat away from that Impale that was beautiful from Hardcore, and that could just be a signal for Panitam to be like, come here, I want a piece of this Zap, who's now injured a bit more. The lazy back, Desert Fury, he's got no ultimate, so he does have his ultimate available, and he will get away, but Panitam's still giving chase. The kiss will connect, but it's not good enough to follow up anymore. And Zap will live for a second. No beads, no ultimate though.
If there had been one more way.
Really does. Look at the wall coverage again from Leviathans. Deep wards on the right, deep wards on the left where possible, and also placing sentries to keep that control, keep the pressure on. And it's actually Scarabs deep in red territory here, around the red buff. Panitam leaps on in, full focus towards Layers there yet again. He'll get the Piercing Moonlight off, but it won't do anything because he dies before it connects. Meanwhile, Baronic picked up by Julio and dunked down to oblivion. Leaping in goes Yarkor now. Bobby forced to use his ultimate defensively, and this opens up the window for the Gold Fury. But it's still a bit of a situation here for Scarabs to battle back into. The good news is if you look across the leads, the biggest lead really is in that mid lane at the moment. 2-level lead at the moment for Shinto over Baronic, but if Layers gets picked in the jungle by Panitam one more time, this could be a death knell one more time. And he's going to walk right into Yarkor, and Yarkor might be given the kill here by Panitam. They're going to keep the chase going, try to hold as much as they can and do so. Panitam credited with a kill, 6-0, but a Fire Giant at 18, okay. Julio's here though, boys. There's a ward there too. Here comes King Arthur. Welcome to the jungle. We like fun and games. He's going to spin around and buy as much time for his team as he can to rotate back in, force him off the FG. But this isn't bad. Shinto, no, I'm a monster. Takes out inbound, and now it's Baronic in trouble. He gets hit by the I'm a monster for 2 kills, and now the rest of Scarabs are in tatters. They were trying to make something happen at the FG, and they get punished heavily by ward coverage, and Julio rotating in. I think in the world it is possible, so I am going to say they are going to get a kill. Okay? Maybe that's a caster curse. We'll find out, Gore. Surely not, though. There's no way I'm that powerful. Because at the moment, though, it's Scarabs to the offensive. Zap is still strong and he's still stepping up on this left-hand side. He wants to fight, but it's a whole ton of Desert Fury. And guess who's here? It's Rongyu, your best buddy once again. Gonna look for the kill, but misses the pluck. 1 basic will do it. Make that 2, but the slows are just too much. Yarko comes on in, and the knock-up is good. Zapman will live. Calculated, buddy. Or is it? Because look at Panitom. He's lurking. He's hunting too. The bad news is he's walked into Bobby, but Bobby's the one getting the tail end. And Rongyu's still chasing Zap all the way back as he continues to skip away. Bobby's still alive. Panitom should die. And there's first blood, surely, for Solar Scarabs. The unthinkable will not happen here today.
Layers had 1 goal there. I don't think he planned on living in that fight. He knew what he had to do, though. There was someone low on the Leviathan.
But there is ward coverage down for Leviathans here, and Yarko's still lurking. You can see the pincer maneuver coming in from Rongyu and Julio too, but this Fury's dropping relatively quick with the damage from Scarabs. The knockback's good though from Rongyu, trying to buy some time for his team. Fury's still alive, and it's actually Yarko and Shinto that are going to get it for them. Zap does get a kill though onto Rongyu, and he'll be punished for his discretions afterwards by Julio. Next on the list is going to be SOT, Sarat by 3. Shinto zoning away Bobby at the same time. They get a kill, they lose the Fury, and it's 12-2, and Leviathans are marching on.
You finally get something else, you clap back as the hunter, but you lose the Fury. I feel like it's one of those awkward calls. Do you drop it, do you not? This is actually even better. Zapman gets a tier 2 for tier 2. Grand scheme of things, it's just going to make sure that their gold deficit isn't going to necessarily go much bigger.
He's stopping the backs though. That's a great play from Panitom. He's like, sure boys, whatever. I'm hanging around it. You can kill me if you want. We'll take a Phoenix on the left-hand side, and maybe, just maybe, I'll still survive. And that's exactly what you're looking for out of a circuit in that situation. I watched him at that tier 2 go, and I'm like, he's not engaging with Zap. He's right to do so. The 1v1 could go either way. And the fact that Scarabs have been committed here, but look at Panitom in mid, already whittling down that Phoenix in the mid lane, forcing someone there to defend, and that's going to be Layers. Front lining though, that right Phoenix is very low. Great ultimate from inbound though, trying to push back Leviathans, and in goes Solo or Troll 2 with a follow-up. The damage is here, but where can the damage come from? Piercing it up from Layers, takes out Yarko already, crits from Zap at the back, trying to whittle down the help by Julio, and doing a good job of it. The base defense from Scarabs is good enough to hold for now, and that's a fire giant Leviathans team. If you're a Scarabs fan now, you're happy. We've held for now. It's not over though. It's the first defense.
Go for this.
Panitom, great call from him though. Well, yeah, the whole team's now coming back because they were 50-50. You saw them thinking about recalling. Yeah. Now Layers versus Panitom, but reinforcements on the way. And as soon as they turn up, the ambush comes out. But Piercing Moonlight's there from Layers. The collapse on Panitom is going to be painful, but he has bought time for his team not to lose a Phoenix at least and get some respawns through. Julio back on the map. Yarko back on the map, but you can start to see the late game of Scarabs clawing their way back into them. Their Baronic there, just keeping Panitom in check for a second or two. All the while, Yarko was pulling that Fury for a moment. Fire Giant spawning in a few seconds time too, and it's Scarabs now on the Fury. What can they do? Rongyu coming in, tail whip to force them back again. Rinse repeat of last time we saw this fight. Meanwhile, it's Panitom is very, very low. Piercing Moonlight, is that going to connect at all? No is the answer. Julio, though, will be a casualty on the front side. And now it's a 4v5 with Scarabs on the offensive.
That's the biggest change. The last fight where Julio is able to pull, what, 4 members? And he almost kills off Baronic, causes a lot of trouble, still walked out alive. They've been able to kill Julio off twice now.
Why are we so far forward, Bobby? Well, he's on Fire Giant. I guess good call, actually. Apologies. That was a great call from Bobby. Bait yourself, let your team get FG. And now we're going to take it to the Leviathans. Yarko's under pressure. He eats a lot of the damage with an Aegis there. I'm a monster pop by Shinto, though. He's looking for a shot. Who's it going to be on? Will he get time? No is the answer. Off the mark. Solo or Troll gets towards Yarko, but a good impale keeps him on the backline. Layers, though, got hold of Panitom, and next up could be Julio. But Julio takes out Baronic and he's still alive at the moment. How long is the question? Not long enough. Bobby gets the kill, and it's 4 for 3. Sorry, 4 members alive. And I think Scarabs have actually won this game. The power of friendship and the coven they were in, and aim to end the game. They've got no minions though. Are they that worried about these two? It is Yoko and Shinto though. They have to be respectful, Gore.
A lot of damage on the board, and you can see it, but look at how much they're able to do the Titan Hindu.
Oh, he should be going down relatively quick, and Scarabs have battled back. About 24 plus minutes of them being on the back foot and behind. They didn't win in terms of kills. Back to safety of his team. Left-hand side, we mentioned wards, and just keep an eye on that ward coverage for the Scarabs there. A lot of vision at the moment there for Zapman. Just trying to keep eyes on these rotations coming in. Speaking of rotations, here comes Panitom now. Chop Suey begins. Zapman Ijutsu's the weird direction, but he does have backup coming. He might be able to get hold of Panitom. Hold that fort though. Paolo comes into play. The up-down, but Zap's still alive until the walls crush down. And meanwhile in the jungle, Shinto got hold of Baronic, but he will pay the price against Layers here. One more basic will do it. He didn't end up needing Suku at all. Not sure if I get 10 out aggro there. Layers a bit too much from that. And luckily enough, nothing more comes of that. 2 for 1 in favor.
I think is going to favor the Leviathans, but if Baronic can survive a little bit longer, the damage over time that he does, all of those dots in his kit, the full kit just does so much. And that's going to help out against Inbound, or sorry, Wrong You and Julio.
Under a bit of pressure here, has to use Suku, thinks about jumping over the wall, fakes it out and kills Panitom. Great support from Bobby, but he jumps right in towards Julio, who misses the ultimate. The first step buys him a moment. Great fearless from Solo Troll 2, but Julio has none of that. He will slice away Layers' life just in time, and then the walls come crashing down from Wrong.
Yeah, good amounts of bursts that you can have from Raijin. None of it's what we typically call a secure, like not the same way with a Kukulkan and so.
Hold that foot. Yoko having a fight at the same time as Panitom too. Panitom going to jump to his teammate. Can't land that Paolo onto his prime target, Layers, and Zapman had the beads up, and now it's Wrong You in danger. The Riptide ended up causing him his own life there, unfortunately. And as you said, a good kill as the Raijin ultimate still available for Shinto, though. As Leviathans fall back, Scarabs can't find more out of that, but it was a good play from them considering how far up Leviathans were.
Like what we saw versus the Dragons, right? Last game, it was a really good comeback. Game number 1, Scarabs were kind of just wet paper, and the Leviathans punched through it. This time around, this is the team that is controlling what they're doing and proactively making plays.
Goon Squad Scarabs coming in. Panitom forced back under the tier 2. Still going in solo or troll. And Baronic will get credit with that arcane stance. But Wrong You's arrived. The walls come down. But where is his teammate? Where is the backup? At the moment, it's really just King Arthur watching on. But the damage is good. And oh my god, Wrong You insane man. Mountain double kill for the support. And in comes Shinto to clean up potentially Bobby here too, who has to try and escape this left-hand side now. But he's running into enemy territory. He's not going to get away easy from the combination of these Leviathans too. I didn't think there was enough damage there for them to die, but holy moly, what great work out of Julio and Wrong You combining.
Yeah, just the CC, the control they come through, and once it cracks that tier 2 line, that's where things start to get a little more iffy for them, and I think that's where things came out of place for them. The walls not exactly favoring their position or their retreat a little bit more. And now Hindu, I mean, we've been talking about a lot of a lead for the Scarabs.
Zap's in trouble though, Gore again. He's not got beads, he's not got Aegis, he's not got a life. Your core credit with a kill as the rotation comes in. It's the first time I felt the wall coverage is slightly slacked on that left-hand side for a second. And Leviathans punish it straight away. And he should be able to get a tier 1 tower here too. Could even start, but he has got a couple of minions left there, so not too far behind at the moment. Execution online for Zap. But you can start to see the difference now between the ability base. Oh my goodness me, stop giving Wrong You your mojo. This isn't fair. But Zap's usage of the ultimate there, very, very good. His Aegis is early, and that means there's a chance for Yoko to let the snipes. He won't, but Wrong You might be able to find the kill with the bubbles, and will do so. Yamoja is on a killing spree. Good news, though, for Scarabs. They will at least try and push on the right-hand side and take a pyro, but good pressure on the right. Where is everybody from Scarabs? Probably on the left.
Yeah, very happily over here taking a tower. Again, just a little bit amount of gold. Wrong You, this rotation, though, could be big. Either isolating Bobby or getting an ult onto these members of the Scarabs. It's either way going to create a big opportunity for the Leviathans.
He took a lot of damage more than Boggy, but Zapman's also low effects of damage out from your core there as well. He used the ultimate. But everyone will limp away back to safety. there just wasn't enough chase, I think. I don't think Paddington was in position, and I don't think she... So, I do see that inbound did hit level 12 and did go for that cursed onk. We were talking about anti-heal, and this could really throw Leviathans for a loop if they don't play around it well. But Paddington in mid going aggressive, snipes out too. Looking at Baronic, Aegis already used and the beads too. No change really connecting with anyone there from Paddington to make a difference, but he will dive down and pick up Baronic anyway, who was under his tier 1 tower. Reinforcements from Scarabs a little bit late, but look at Julio Gore. He's wrapping round the back, and he comes looking for a play, and he'll pick up and slam down Layers, but Layers still alive with the Aegis and leaps away. Not far enough though. Shinto credited with the kill, but once again it was the walls from Ronq. The River's Rebuke came up big, and now Inbound's running for his life one more time. The dot damage will not be enough. It forced SOT in though to the fight to try and help out his team or maybe get a kill, and it won't be enough either. He's forced a Lawbringer away, and that's a tier 2 if I've ever seen one, or maybe a fire. What happens? Bobby forced back for a second into the fountain room. Come Leviathans. Blue Phoenix down to half. Zap turns into the fray, but Bobby's already used the lurk in the waters defensively, and the middle Phoenix falls. Panitom now looking for some snipes and gets one on Layers, but he's got a Magi's to keep him topped up. Solo Troll being run down and has the Lawbringer away too, but all these ults are being used defensively, and in the end Layers is going to fall. They can get the left-hand Phoenix if they want to, or they can drop the River's Rebuke one more time and send the Scarab scattering again. No real focus on the Titan though, which is a bit of a concern in the situation. And Bobby tries to step up, eats some more damage, ends up dying to Shinto. And next up could be the Titans once they've killed off Zatman. But Zat will survive. Titan still standing. The end of the game is brutally long and painful and arduous for Scarabs. But Leviathans are going to come out on top of this. 2-1. But my oh my, I'll give credit where it's due for Scarabs battling back in this set against Leviathans.